So here we are, day 2 of building our floor for the hot tub. So what we got going on is we got all the pieces laid out on the floor. We got a couple pipe clamps on them. Again, we're going back to the bargain basement clamps here. So what I had to do, these things keep popping off. So I'm just going to do a real simple, easy fix with these because it's kind of frustrating trying to hold those little rubber things in place when you're trying to get them placed. So I've done this before and it actually lasts a long time. A little piece of tape on there, get the clamp on, press it in place. That's going to be on there for years probably, not go anywhere. So I'm sure most people have used pipe clamps before. I'm going to grab the camera here and let's show what we got. So here's our floor. Got all our pieces together. We've got a rough circle drawn out for where we want to cut. That was just a temporary thing. That was just to make sure we had the pieces all laid out properly and everything was good. So just common pipe clamps. What we're going to do is we're going to take a rubber mallet and we're going to start tapping the joints while these things tighten up. I got one more third clamp over there. It's 2 pieces of 4-foot pipe that we had to put together with a coupling in the middle like this, because I couldn't get 8-foot pieces of pipe at the hardware store that I went to, and it was the only one in town open. So yeah, we just coupled them together. In reality, I would have liked to have put these pipes on the bottom and rest all the wood on the pipe and clamp them together. The reason I didn't do that is, one, because of this coupling, it wouldn't keep it flat. And if I put the pipes on the other side, these are just black gas pipes. These 2 up here for the third clamp are galvanized. They wouldn't leave marks, but this black pipe is going to leave some oily, greasy, crappy stains on stuff. So we put it on the bottom, and what we're going to do is just try and snug all the joints together a little bit here. So I'm going to get down to this handle, and I will work at tightening this handle. And yeah, let's just start tapping some boards. Right beside the pipe, just kind of walk down and just start tapping.
Like that?
Give her a little bit more. Yeah, just every couple boards, just keep on rapping on her. Harder. Give her a good whack. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all our joints tight here. So I can feel on this clamp right here.
It's lifting. It's lifting. It's lifting.
Okay, so that doesn't work. So we need a different plan for doing this, because our board at the end over here is lifting up. So that's not real great. So I'm going to revisit this here, and you know, the other option here is to put a strap all the way around it, wrap it around, hook it to itself, and tighten the strap, which might be able to hold it even. What I might do is I might just put some weights on the end to hold that down. If it's only that one at the end that's lifting, it's probably cracking that joint over there, because that's where we got the, here, let me get this adjusted a bit. We got the male one on this side and the female on the other. So what's happening over there is it's cracking that joint that we made. You know, if I had one board that didn't have that joint on that side, it would probably be better, because then it would have a flat surface to grab onto and it wouldn't screw up like this.
We might. In the wood pile.
Well, actually, yeah, we can take a couple of our scrap ones from here where we're setting up to try and get the router set. We'll get a couple of those. We'll put one on each end at the end of the pony clamps there, and we'll squeeze against that because it'll have a flat surface. So yeah, if this works, then we're going to clamp it and we're just going to continue on, and we're going to get this all nice and tight, and then we're going to get a board across the middle for the support, and we're going to draw a proper circle on this. We had a couple little pieces here that were scraps that have round sides on both edges. These are the ones we were using to try and get the router set. So that's held in the clamp well. A couple 45-pound John Deere weights sitting on there to help hold it down. And yeah, we bashed the living crap out of this, tightened up the clamps. The joints look really good. I think I got better light on the other side. Sorry, I know some of these are going to be a little bit dark, but the garage is not really set up for recording or anything. This stuff's all new to us, not just building the tub. Trying to get good audio. That's one of the big things I really wanted. But if you look at some of these joints, like they are seated very well. You know, all this stuff is going to get cut off and trimmed when we cut the circle here. But I mean that, look at that right there. You notice I got a little bit of a flat spot right here. Right at the edge, there's a little bit of a flat spot right there. And that was intentional. When I pushed it through the router, I wanted a little bit of a flat spot so it rested against the back fence of the router to keep the board straight so things wouldn't, you know, like dig in and get crooked. And that's also for if you got a little bit of a flat edge, like a little bit of this little corner right here is going to help seat in there, I think. You know, there's a tiny little channel right in the middle where there would be a little bit of airspace there. But looking at these joints, these things are squashing in really good. That is not going to be an issue, I don't think, at all. That's the wrong one. Here, this is the one I want to show you. You can see a tiny bit of an airspace there. But I think that's good because it allowed me to cut these joints really nice and true. You know, I know as far as the recording goes, it looked like I was having some issues. But that's because I don't really know how to run a router properly. And I didn't have really good fences built for this. I mean, it's a cheap table. And this is really my first big crack at a router. That's why I wanted to start with the floor before trying to cut the staves. We're going to cut the staves next, once we get this all kind of screwed together a bit. But here, look at this one. We got a pretty big gap here on this one. But again, we're going to cut that end off, and we can still clamp it together even tighter. We have not gone crazy on this by no means. But yeah, if I had proper fences on the router table, and if we would have planed all this lumber first to make sure it was all the exact same size, it would have been a much better world. But I think this is going to work. The only issue I think some people are going to comment on here is all these knots we got in here. I just couldn't spend the money on clear cedar. And yeah, I got a truckload of cedar out in the yard, but my milling is going to happen with a chainsaw mill. And for every single cut we make on a chainsaw mill, we're going to lose probably more than a 1/4 inch of lumber. I did not want to mill with a chainsaw a bunch of 2x6s to do this, or 2x4s. It seemed like a waste of wood. Those big timbers are going to be turned into posts, and we will get some good smaller dimensional lumber off of it. But it was much better for us going this way and just buying this stuff. It wasn't cheap, but it was a lot cheaper than clear cedar. I'm really hoping it's going to work. We couldn't even get any clear cedar in town here this week when we wanted to do this. So yeah, there we go. So we're going to try and draw the circle here on the floor now. And I was kind of wondering how to do it. I mean, you can see the pipes are standing up down there quite a bit. So what I did was I took a piece of 2x2, drilled a hole, put a long screw through on this side, drilled a hole on the other side to fit a China marker, a little piece of duct tape to hold it in place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this screw into the floor at dead center where I got the X, and we're just going to drag this around in a circle, and we're going to make our mark for where our circle is going to get cut out. So I'm going to get down on the floor here. I think this is actually stable enough we can get rid of these weights probably. I am more than 90 pounds. I will hold it down. So we've measured all sides. We know this is dead center, right in the middle of these two joints. By putting dead center in the middle of these two joints, our line is going to be through most of a board out there. So I'm only going in a couple threads here. I don't want to punch a hole through. I just want it to be held in place. So if we go down to that end, this is going to be our 6'6" diameter circle right there. Now hopefully this is all correct. Ooh, we're cutting her close there, but I really should be using a different color marker than the one we used before. Got a little bit of an issue going on here, but it's okay. We can doctor that up after. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put another little mark on the right line to make sure we cut this in the right spot.
That's a pleasant sound.
Yeah. Be careful where you're shooting because I got a plumber's crack about to happen here too.
Yes, dear.
Pencil is, I'm breaking the crap out of the end of it here. Yeah, we got too many lines going on here, so we're gonna have to make sure we mark these appropriately so we cut them the right spot. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna grab one more marker and I'm going to try and heavy up the line a little bit. You don't need to follow me everywhere. Show them that. I gotta find another marker. So this is it. We're close to the edges, but that's okay. So this is what I'm going to do here to define the one that we want to cut on. I'm just going to put a little arrow against the line we got to cut on, so that we know we're doing this in the right spot. This one, there, there. They matched up here from our original mess. And this is the bottom of the tub, so I'm not worried about making marks here at all. None of this stuff is going to get seen. We're going to have to sand it and do a lot of other work down here. So this is minor. This might seem redundant, but I really don't want to start cutting on the wrong line somewhere. I would much rather take a few minutes here, make a bunch of marks, be sure of what we're doing. It's like right here we got like 3 of them crossing, so this is good. That's it. So there we go. That's our cut line for the floor. That gives us a 6'6" diameter. Excuse me. I said earlier we're debating between 7 foot and 6 foot. We're splitting the difference, 6.5. We're going to be looking at about probably 650 gallons, even with the firebox in there displacing how many ever gallons that was. I think the firebox is going to displace like 70 gallons. So 650 gallon tub is what we're after. So, gone again.